Dynamic Thought, Lesson for Week 2. Gaze up into the sky at night and sense the infinite majesty of the universe. Get mentally into touch with those patient stars that flash and twinkle like gems of purest water. Realize that they are suns situated millions of miles away. Then think of our own little spot in the universe, the solar system. Think of the magnetic, majestic sun, the planets all following certain paths, guided by a wonderful system of universal law. Observe the precision of the rising and the setting of the sun, the lunar periods, the rhythmic ebb and flow of the tidal sea. Let your mind grasp what all this means. Let it sweep right from the grandest aspect of nature down to the atom itself. And what does it see? A power expressing itself in an infinite variety of ways in everything and through everything. There is nothing, not a grain of sand, not an atom, not an electron, that does not contain this wondrous power. Man has been described as the epitome of the universe. An atom, clairvoyantly observed, has been described as a replica of the solar system. Therefore, we have universe within universe, solar system within solar system, and all animated, controlled and directed by the universal or infinite mind. Therefore, the power that animates man is an infinite power. In man, the infinite mind finds its highest expression on the visible plane. At one time, man was thought to be an animal with a soul. Now he is known to be an indestructible ego with an imperishable mind, finding expression in a temporary physical body. The cause of all man's weakness, mistakes, and failures has been that he has not realized the power within. Instead, he has thought himself to be separate and friendless, weak and helpless, adrift without chart or compass upon the sea of life. He has thought himself to be the victim of circumstance, the sport of fate, and the puppet of forces outside himself. He has called himself a worm, instead of looking upon himself as a king. He has thought himself to be worthless and insignificant, instead of realizing his wonderful interior powers and the grandeur of his being. Instead of being a worm, man is a king. Potentially, all the powers of the infinite mind are his. Instead of being the victim of circumstances, he can control them. Instead of being the puppet of forces outside himself, he has within him the power to be what he will, to do what he will, to accomplish all that he desires. Now at last the darkness is being pierced, and man realizes that he is a mental creature, that he is mind as well as matter. That is, as mind is one with the universal or infinite mind, that the difference between him and the infinite or universal mind is not one of a kind, but of degree. Like a traveller lost in the bush, who, almost dying at last, finds his way to a permanent spring of water, and drinks again, knowing that he can never exhaust the everlasting supply, so does man, after long wanderings, at last realize that within himself is a fountain of never-failing power and wisdom, and that his subliminal mind is linked up with and forms a part of the infinite mind of the universe. This is the greatest discovery in the history of the world. This is the crowning revelation of all the ages. This is the blinding knowledge that dwarfs every other knowledge, that within man dwells the infinite and unfathomable mind of the universe. Call how he may on these hidden forces, they can never fail to respond, for they are infinite and inexhaustible. Man stands alone and apart from all other creatures in this visible world around him, in that he has the power to govern his own actions, choose right or wrong, to mold his own fate, and create his own life and circumstances. To other creatures, life and the visible world are fixed quantities. To man, life and the world are reflexes of inward mental states. Thus can he make life what he will, thus can he live in a world of his own creating. Man alone has the power to realize and recognize the inward power of the infinite, and to consciously bring it into objectivity. The inward powers of the mind are potentially illimitable, but they lie dormant and unexpressed until they are recognized and aroused into action by the individual. This is why the majority of people are so worried and distressed, why they either fail to make life worth living or achieve only partial success, and that with great difficulty they try to achieve without the power to achieve. They marvel at their own weakness, not realizing that within them lie immeasurable powers which are patiently waiting to find expression. Until man calls these powers into activity, they can never act. Within him is that which is connected to the powerhouse of the universe, yet he never feels its power. Within him is infinite wisdom, knowledge, inspiration, creative power, and driving force. Yet he slumbers on, unconscious of their existence. But to those who realize their own interior power, what a mine of inexhaustible treasure do they find! What force and energy for all accomplishment! When you, dear listener, enter into the realization of the mighty power within you, you enter into possession of all good and perfect things. You cease to strive and squabble and snatch, with selfish, anxious hand, the bread from another's mouth. You leave off striving with palpitating heart and careworn face to push your way in front of the one next to you. Instead, you set your ambitions high and, sustained and carried forward by the invisible forces, enter into possession of all that you desire. Work? Yes, you will work for right thinking, and this realization of the power within you is the result of your right thinking, is the inspiration of all right action. You will work hard enough, and no one is happy who does not work. But the difference will be that your work will be the greatest joy in your joyful life. Joy. There is no joy like the joy of work, well loved and well done, and which leads to accomplishment and victory. Work, yes, you will work, but not with a feverish haste or with a fear of failure and bankruptcy ever before you. Instead, you will work with a confidence and power, sure in the knowledge that your efforts lead definitely to success. When you have realized the inward power, you will feel it pushing you in the back and impelling you forward. You will feel yourself borne along to the goal of your endeavor. Whereas formerly you were chasing success and waiting on it, cap in hand, in future you will realize that you are master that you command and success obeys. You realize that instead of, as in the past, running after fame and fortune, which, like a will-o-wisp, constantly eludes you, you have now the power to attract all desirable things to you. Instead of feverish anxiety and joyless quest, you possess calm confidence and the power to accomplish everything that you desire. There will be no anxiety, no care for the morrow, instead the confidence of exact knowledge, the knowledge that the results will be exactly as arranged, just as today is the result of past thinking, so the future will be the result of what is built today. Therefore, you do certain things today, and you know with mathematical certainty what the future results will be. Like John Burroughs, you can say, "What is mine shall know my face." That is the basis of all success, the confidence, the exact knowledge that what you are sowing now will be reaped 100-fold, that in the future you will enter into occupation of that which you are building now, that what you claim as your own now, out of all the riches of the universal storehouse, will be yours in the future. It is yours now. You enter into possession in the days to come. You will now begin to see why I ask you to use affirmation. In succeeding lessons will be explained what affirmations are, their object, and the manner in which they work. In the meantime, make use of the same affirmation that you have been using in the past week, but with something added. It will now read like this: The old life is dead and buried. I have severed myself from it once and for all. Henceforth, I live the new life of success and power, self-mastery and all accomplishment. This I do not in the strength of my feeble will and surface mind of my ordinary consciousness, but by the infinite power of my deeper inner mind, which is one with and forms a part of the infinite universal mind. Make the affirmations earnestly. Think of what you are saying. Enter into all that the words mean. Try and feel their power. Do not, however, screw yourself up to a nervous tension. Instead, let yourself relax. First your body, with its muscles and nerves, let them all go limp. Then your mind, let that unbend also. Now affirm calmly and confidently as instructed, and then visualize a picture of yourself, radiant, calm, and possessed of a new power. See yourself master of all weaknesses and passions, directing yourself, guiding your life with unerring wisdom, shaping your course to a glorious destiny. Practice and keep on practicing the art of visualizing. Remember that you are dealing with finer matter than that which is discerned by the senses. But it is none the less real. In fact, it is far more real. The fact that you can see with your mind's eye that which you have created by your mental processes is proof that what you have created exists. If it did not exist, you could not see it. If, therefore, you create in your mental realm a picture of yourself, radiant, successful, self-disciplined, master of your life and destiny, then you are creating a new you, in which in process of time will become objectified into your outward life. In other words, the new you, the radiant being of your mental imagery, will later manifest itself in a new outside physical you. Whatever is created in the unseen later becomes manifested in the seen. This is an immutable law. By mental imagery you create in the unseen. Be careful what you create, whatever it is, good or bad, will find its way into your life and be read and known of all men. Whenever you meet with temptation or difficulty, or if you let yourself get flustered at business, retire into yourself for a moment and make the affirmation mentally and realize you are a new creature. You will then become conscious of the inward power. Now we will do our meditation for the week. Sit very quietly and relax nerves and muscles and concentrate your thoughts upon the conception of an ideal world. Picture a world of indescribable beauty without pain, sickness or care, without hate, unkindness or selfishness, without poverty, want or any lack. Picture mentally a world in which love and good will reign supreme, where beauty, joy, happiness, plenty, and profusion of all good things are unstinted and for all. Picture a world where there is no limitation, where you can know everything, possess all the wisdom, and where you can be everywhere at the same time. In this world, the colors of the flowers and of the sky are more beautiful and transparent than anything you have seen before. The singing of the birds more ravishing than anything yet heard. The inhabitants are all comely and gloriously healthy and strong. They are all animated by goodwill and indescribably happy. This is the perfect world of mind. Now, concentrate upon this image. You will most probably find worry thoughts intruding, thoughts of the rent, of the mistake one of your fellow workers made at your business, of threatened competition, or of some slander or unkind imputation that may have been made against you. Whenever a thought tries to enter your mind, dismiss it at once and concentrate your mind upon your ideal world. This will not be easy, but continue to persevere. It is most important that you should master this, as by so doing you are cultivating one of the most wonderful faculties of your mind. Therefore, keep on dismissing the unwelcome thought by denying it. For instance, you are disturbed by the thought that something grossly unfair has been done to you. It makes your blood boil when you think about it. Immediately this thought comes to you, say at once, "In this perfect world of mind there is no unfairness, injustice or unkindness. All is truth and honor and goodwill." And raise your thoughts above this imperfect material life and concentrate your mental gaze upon your ideal world. Again, a thought may come suggesting that the new competition in your business will ruin you. Immediately deny it by saying, "In this perfect world there is no competition, there is no failure. I am a perfect mental creature, gifted with infinite powers, and I am above competition. I am success." Keep your mental vision on your ideal world the whole time and keep denying all your troubles one by one and affirming their opposites. By your denials you kill the worry thought, and by affirming its opposite you build up a character and mental outlook that are superior to worry and incapable of failure. Not only do you kill the thought of evil, you also destroy the evil itself. This may sound fantastic to you, but it is absolutely true. Later on, you will be able to prove the truth of this beyond the shadow of a doubt. The appendix. It was seen in last week's appendix that in a general way the subliminal mind could be influenced for good by allowing only thoughts of good, courage, health, success, etc. to pass the citadel of the mind. This is the foundation of all happiness and harmony in one's life. But if it is desired to arouse your latent powers and to train your subliminal to solve all your problems, to give you true inspiration and supply you with original ideas, other methods must be employed. Your great subliminal mind is not going to yield up its wonderful store of knowledge, neither is it going to act as the solver of all your problems in response to a mere pious wish. What is necessary is that very strong, concentrated, forceful, directed thoughts should be sent down into this greater mind continuously and persistently. Whatever message you keep sending down into your subliminal mind, provided it is not changed or altered, and that it is sufficiently strong and concentrated, will be obeyed in time. Some students will be longer than others, but everyone, sooner or later, who follows these instructions will develop the power of directed subliminal thinking. The first step is to impress very powerfully upon the subliminal mind that it is capable of solving all your problems. At present, unless you are a very rare exception, your subliminal mind is hypnotized into the belief that it cannot solve your problems. So long as it believes that it cannot solve your problems, it never will attempt the task. But once you can convince your subliminal mind that it has the power, the wisdom, and the knowledge to do so, then you will at once pass from weakness to power. You will have at your disposal a mind so vast and wonderful that the finite mind of the senses will be unable to grasp its full significance. In order to convince your subliminal mind that it can solve all your problems, you must 1. Believe yourself that it can do so. 2. Have a strong desire to use your hidden powers. 3. Make strong affirmations that your subliminal mind can think constructively, and drawing upon the all-knowledge, solve every perplexity and problem. And 4. Visualize yourself meeting with problems and having them solved immediately by referring them to your greater mind within. Within you are limitless powers, but they only become available when you consciously call upon them and make use of them. Therefore, carry this thought strongly in your mind. My subliminal mind can draw upon the universal intelligence and solve all my problems. When seeking to impress the subliminal mind, it is necessary to get alone and to still the objective mind and the senses, when all thoughts of worry, business, and material life have been dismissed from the mind, and perfect mental calm obtained. Then you will be in a state favorable to 1. The sending of direction to the subliminal mind, and 2. Receiving inspiration from it. Health. We have seen in this lesson that within man dwells the universal mind, and that when he looks within he finds infinite power. In the same way, man is also animated by the infinite life. So long as man ignores the infinite nature of his life, so long will he be weak, diseased, ill, and miserable. The animal health of our fathers is passing away, and man is becoming more sensitive, more mental, more spiritual, and therefore depends more and more upon mental and spiritual forces for his life and health. Everyone is getting more nervous and highly strung, more imaginative, more sensitive to the power of thought and other spiritual and psychic forces. Therefore, man must look more and more to the one source of all life for his health, energy, and vitality. Those who seek perfect health, and who does not these days, should deny every thought of and belief in sickness, illness, and disease, and constantly affirm and visualize a state of perfect health and well-being. Always before your mental vision, let this idea of health be dominant. Let it be a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, leading you ever out of the land of bondage and sickness to the promised land of perfect, radiant health. The unseen is greater than the seen. Therefore, to work in the unseen is to deal with the cause, of which the outward life is the effect. By working in the unseen by means of meditation, affirmation, visualizing, and by holding in our mind the highest ideals, we arouse the power that lies hidden within us. The power that is within us is the power of the universal mind or spirit. Therefore, it is infinite and illimitable. The only limit that can be is the limitation we place upon it by our own lack of faith. Therefore, in all of your difficulties and battles, remember that the power within you is infinite. You are one with the infinite if you will only believe it, if you can only realize it. Rise up and go forward with confidence. Your highest ideals can be attained too, if you believe and have faith and reach upward to higher and better things. I affirm for you the inward knowledge of these things.